Welcome to Across the Diamond. Today we're going to be doing the NL West offseason in review. I'm one of your co-hosts, Ryan McKinney.
I'm the second part of your co-host, Andrew Manjares, and today is episode 4, NL West Graded Edition.
All right, let's get into some news before we get into some of these grades. We got some Hall of Fame inductions and some signings.
Absolutely.
So let's first give a shout out to all the Hall of Fame inductees. We'll go into it. Ichiro Suzuki should have been unanimous, wasn't. We'll get into that.
What are your thoughts on
CC's.
him being one vote off of being unanimous?
I think it's the stupidest thing I've ever seen in my life, and I think BBWAA writers should we need to get into their brains and fire some
Mhm.
also. And then CC Sabathia also was inducted and Billy Wagner.
Yes.
So shout out to those guys. Obviously Ichiro, one of the best players honestly we've seen. Come over in terms of whole baseball career, not only in America, because it is just the Baseball Hall of Fame, not the MLB Hall of Fame.
hmm
So if you combine his career in Japan and America, he's probably one of the best players we've ever seen. So
Yeah. Ichiro Suzuki spent some time with, I believe, what, three different teams? Seattle, New York, and Miami, and then went back to Seattle to finish his career off there. Like you said, man, not only just one of the best players in Major League Baseball history, but just across baseball in general. I think it's a shame. I think it's very shameful, and I feel like the writer who does that should definitely get some attention. I want his name to come out and stuff like that. He definitely deserves to be put on blast for just such a
the
I don't even know.
cowardly,
Yeah, just I don't know what kind of decision that is. It just seems just like I just want to be different. Let me be the one voter not to get him unanimous, just so I can feel something, I suppose. But yeah, man. I mean, he put up a career 60 B WAR, 3,000 hits, 117 home runs, a career 311 batting average, and 509 stolen bases. So I mean, even in today's game, that's going to play no matter who you are. Great defense always has had great defense. Um, OPS plus on his career is a 107 with a 757 OPS. So I mean, no argument for me. I think that's a Hall of Fame caliber player and a unanimous caliber player. If I ever get a vote like that, he's definitely unanimous in my eyes. But I'll let you touch base on Susis Bathia.
yeah, CC Sabathia, one of the best lefties we've seen in baseball. Just super consistent, showed up in the big moments. Started off as a Cleveland Guardian and then went over to Milwaukee. And Milwaukee might have been his best stretch for 130 innings. Jesus, was he good. Uh, Came over in that trade and put up an 11-2 record for Milwaukee with an ERA. I believe it was in the ones during that stretch. Yeah, 165. Wow. And then he went to the big bad Yankees, of course, and won a World Series. Was top five in Cy Young voting three times once he came over to the Yankees. Won a Cy Young in 2007 with the Cleveland Guardians. Just a really good career from CC. You know, showed up in the big moments. Was a rookie or second in Rookie of the Year voting. Few-time All-Star. I think it was a six-time All-Star. So. No complaints for me. First ballot, I think this actually is a good thing for Zach Greinke because if we compare their numbers, Zach Greinke and CC Sabathia's numbers are pretty comparable. So
Do you think he gets a little bit of an elevation because he's a
yeah,
lefty?
yeah. I think that and because he's a Yankee.
Yes, he's a Yankee. Well, that's cool, man. Correct me if I'm wrong, but CC Sabathia seemed to always be healthy too. He always threw innings, um, at least for a large majority of his career. So props to him. But I'll go ahead and get into Billy Wagner. Billy Wagner's been on the ballot for a few years now. He finally gets in
Last
this year.
year,
Yeah, on this last year of the ballot. If you want to run through his stats real quick, I mean, he had a .998 WHIP with a 2.73 FIP and close to about 500 saves or 422 saves. So I mean, great majority of saves there. And then if you want to touch on his other stats, he has a career 11.9 strikeouts per nine, a three walks per nine, and six hits per nine. So I mean, one of the best relievers we've seen, especially from the left side, and as a closer as well. So good on him, man. Career 2.31 ERA, played 16 years in the big leagues, accumulated almost a 30 B WAR. I mean, as a reliever, that's pretty good, man. So good on Billy Wagner. I'm glad he got on. I'm sure he was sweating it a little bit as his last year on the ballot, but I mean, I think I speak for everybody. No one disagrees that Billy Wagner shouldn't be a Hall of Famer, man.
yeah, I guess his only flaw in his career was the playoff numbers. He wasn't good in a short sample, to be fair, too, in the
Yeah,
playoffs. But I mean, shit happens. He's a great reliever, and I'm happy to see another reliever get into the Hall of Fame.
yeah, man, for sure. Props to Billy Wagner. But those are the three guys who recently have gotten inducted to the Hall of Fame. So we'll go ahead and start talking about current news across the 2024 MLB offseason. So you have Albert Alazoy on a 2-year deal. He's out most of the 2025. But Tommy John, he goes out to the Mets. So I guess a good pickup on them. We'll see what happens down the stretch, even if he does pitch this year. But I mean, solid reliever, came from the Cubs, kind of lost that closer's role, went down a lot. He's an up and down player, but I mean, he has loud stuff. So I don't know, just a reliever. We have Ron Marinaccio to the Padres from White Sox for cash. Ron Marinaccio spent a lot of time with the Yankees. I never liked him, but I mean, he gets outs. His FIP and underlying metrics don't really love him a lot, which is kind of testifies as to why I didn't like him a lot. But maybe out there in the Padres, away from the Yankee Stadium and away from Chicago, maybe he could turn it around. So good move on the Padres. Basically got him for free, just cash. And then you have Jurickson Profar, who seems to be the highlight of recent news. Jurickson Profar goes to the Braves on a 3-year deal worth 42 million. Are you surprised by that signing at all?
No. If we take a dive into Jurickson Profar's season, obviously a career year this season, put up an 840 OPS, hit 24 homers. Um, and I saw a poll on Twitter recently, and I think it was actually yesterday. And it said if you had to put money on Jurickson Profar going over a 120 OPS plus or not, would you do it? And it was a yes or no answer. And I think it was an overwhelmingly majority vote of no, like I think 70%. And I disagree with that. He made a lot of swing adjustments this season that I think can stick and um impact him positively the rest of his career. I mean, he's going in from a pitcher-friendly environment where he put up an 840 OPS to somewhat of a hitter-friendly environment in Atlanta. And if we look at the underlying numbers, I mean, there's no signs of regression.
Nah, I'm looking at a savant here. I mean, he doesn't chase, he doesn't swing and miss, he doesn't strike out, and he walks. 89th percentile or 88th percentile or higher in just those four categories I just mentioned. I mean, 92nd percentile in xWOBA at 364, a 92 percentile in expected batting average at 282. I mean, his average exit velocity is, I mean, he still hits the ball pretty hard. I mean, he's only in the 80th percentile, but 91 average exit velocity is pretty good, man. I don't really. I feel like the sample size of Jurickson Profar being great compared to the sample size of Jurickson Profar being bad. I mean, it's second to none, brother. So, I don't know if this is going to be like an Aristides Aquino or a Yermin Mercedes, just out of this world type of run here.
No,
Is the
it's
last
not.
past year with the San Diego Padres, or I mean, I don't know. I mean, in recent memory, do you have anybody you could think of on top of your head who kind of just blossomed late and continued to blossom throughout the later part of their career?
We see it a lot happen with pitchers more often than hitters, to be
Yeah.
fair. Pitchers sometimes find themselves on the wrong side of 30 and find a route to a good career at the end of their year and prolong their career. But I think Jurickson Profar was a former number one overall prospect. I mean, obviously there were signs in his career that he was going to be good, and it's not like he's been a bad player his career. I mean, he's a career 730 OPS hitter. I mean, he's an above average hitter in his career for 11
I just want to hear the
seasons.
counter argument just so we can see both sides of the pie, brother. He has a career 9.2 F4. You know what I mean? Through, let's see, 1,119
Yeah, he's
games.
not a good defender, but I mean, you fail to realize that he made swing adjustments. I mean, he tapped into more power this year than he ever has before, and I don't think you could just pop power over 162 and be lucky. I mean, we would see these numbers eventually play out if this was just a Linsanity run, but it was consistent throughout the whole 162. I mean, I know he did struggle a little bit in the playoffs, but there's no number or adjustment that I could find to where I say, oh yeah, he can't put up a 120 OPS plus again and be a well above average hitter. If anything, I'd lead on the side that he's going to be more of a 130 OPS plus hitter. I mean, he's going to play in Atlanta. He's going to not be the focal point of that lineup who has five, six, seven good bats. in their lineup as well, and he's gonna bat 6 or 7 in that lineup, maybe one or two depending how they run things. But he's gonna see a lot of fastballs. He's gonna stick to his approach that he had this past season. We'll see how the league adjusts to him, but they didn't adjust to him very well in the regular season. I mean, he was one of the most clutch players we've seen this season.
I also don't think they're going to adjust to him very much either, especially in the Braves lineup. I think you have three, four other guys that you want to focus on first before you get to Jurickson Profar. And just off the top of my head, I mean, you have Acuna coming back second half, Austin Riley right behind him, Ozzy Albies, Matt Olson, Sean Murphy, Michael Harris. Um, so I mean, nah, here's how I look at it. You signed him on a 3-year deal with 42 million, an AAV of 14 million. This year he put up a 4.3 F4. If you cut that in half, that's what about a 2.1.5. You're paying him $14 million for that. Do you think that's worth it? Do you think it's worth it?
Yeah.
I
I
mean,
mean, like
so
I said, if he puts up a 800 OPS the next 2 seasons and has a 130 OPS plus and is a he's not going to be a good defender, so I don't want to say an average defender. I think he's going to be below average, even that.
what
But if
position do you plug him in at? What do you think he plays the best defense at?
corner outfielder, left fielder, Michael Harris is going to run center, Cunha right, Profar left.
On paper, it sounds like it'd be a good defensive outfield, but in reality, it's just not. Acuna's not a very good defender. Michael Harris is a platinum, glove style defender, and then Jurickson Profar out there and left is below average defender out there. But we'll touch
He's a
base more on
bad
the
defender.
Braves. Yeah, we'll touch more base on the Braves once we get to the NL East, man. But the Braves, we could definitely talk about the Braves for a long time, man. But Jurickson Profar to the Braves, good move on them. Even if he's half as good as what he was this year, they're definitely going to get their money's worth. And then John Birdie to the Cubs. He was non-tendered by the Yankees. The Cubs went over there and picked him up. So good move on them, John Birdie. Very super utility guy out there. And then you have Paul Sewald going to the Guardians on a 1-year, $7 million deal. Great move by them. I mean, Paul Sewald is a proven closer, didn't perform that well last year on Arizona. But I kind of want to bring up this contract signing. It's a 1-year, 7 million. The way that relievers have been getting paid this offseason, man, it seems pretty low. It seems like a pretty good bargain. If I'm not mistaken, it feels like Paul Siebel would want to go to the Guardians. I feel like if he held out for a
Well,
little
there's some
longer.
incentives in there too to bump it up
Well,
if he meets those incentives.
yeah. But yeah, man. Good on Paul Sewell's a good pitcher, man. I want to see how the Guardians go out and try to work with him. And then Tim Anderson to the Angels. It seems like the Angels want to take flyers on everybody. That's terrible. But we already touched base on the Angels last episode. But I just wanted to highlight that. I thought that was funny to see Tim Anderson to the Angels.
I mean, maybe he could revive his career there and play second base. I don't know. They have Luis Rengifo and Christian Moore, so maybe he plays third. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Rendon's there, but Rendon sucks and probably won't play after the first week of the season.
Or
So
is it Christian Moore and then Luis Rengifo at third? I don't know.
yeah, Rengifo can play a corner outfield too, I guess, but
Taylor Ward, Mike Trout, Joe Adele.
we'll see it. I don't know. Let's get into these off seasons though.
I mean, I'll let you start off with your favorite team in the MLB.
Yeah, yeah, right. The Dodgers coming off a season where they win 98 and 64, World Series champions, of course, beat the Yankees in five. Ooh. And then I mean, let's just go through their additions. They've had the best offseason in baseball this year after winning a World Series. Doesn't make sense. But they signed Blake Snell, Michael Conforto, Tanner Scott, Hai Song Kim, Teoscar Hernandez coming back. They brought back Blake Trinan. They went out and got Roki Sasaki, and they signed Mike Sirota, and they also no, that's all. They signed Mike Sirota, and then we'll go over their losses. Brent Honeywell got non-tender. Joe Kelly still a free agent. Daniel Hudson, Kike Hernandez is still a free agent. Walker Buehler went over there to the Red Sox. They did lose Jack Flaherty, and then they traded Gavin Lux. So um, yeah, there's just not much to say, man. This is the best offseason in baseball this season.
I don't want to get much into it, man. If you're just any knowledge of baseball, honestly, just a casual fan, you know what the Dodgers are cooking over there in Los Angeles. I mean, you signed Blake Snell. I mean, Blake Snell. If you know anything about me, I love Blake Snell. Um, it was kind of annoying just to see him go to the Dodgers. I mean, it's just how I personally feel. I'm gonna keep that type of biased feelings away. I know the Dodgers are a good ball club, and we're honestly jealous of you as fans. If you are a Dodgers fan, I mean, to look at this team and say anything bad about them, and just, as a Dodgers fan, it just seems I just feels like you only watch football if you could possibly say anything bad about the Dodgers if you're a fan of that ball club, man. But you saw Blake Snell has two Cy Youngs under his belt. One of the best pitchers in the second half last year, just an underrated season, just in general. You take a flyer on Michael Conforto. 1 million, 1 year for 17 million seems kind of steep, but the type of ball player that Michael Conforto is, I mean, I think I honestly think he can blossom in that lineup. I think Michael Conforto is definitely a sneaky signing, and I think Michael Conforto is like an 840, 850 OPS guy over there in LA. So, do you disagree with that?
Mm, I don't know what his role is going to be
I mean, he's
now
gonna
that
play
they
the
brought
outfield,
back,
man.
but they brought back Teo. Where is he going to play?
So you have Teoscar Hernandez in left. You have Tommy Edman in in center, and I think Marco Conforto is your everyday right fielder. I mean, you have Andy Pajes, you have James Outman, stuff like that. But I mean, other than that, who else plays that corner outfield spot? You already switched Mookie Betts from right to short, so you have Mookie Betts out there at short. So I mean, you don't have Kike Hernandez anymore, who's going to play that super utility role. Chris Taylor is going to get maybe about 40 to 50 games while you're still paying him. So I think Marco Conforto is looks like your everyday right fielder.
I mean, if he puts an eight up in 850 OPS, the league is in trouble.
Yeah. I mean,
The
do you think
league's
that's
already in
past him?
trouble.
Do you
No,
think
I
that
don't
yeah,
put it past him.
yeah.
And I mean, I think he's going to be good too, but we'll see about an 850 OPS. I mean, I
I
don't
think
see
his
how
floor, I
you
think his
say
floor is about
Teoscar
780.
you say Teoscar who put up an 860 OPS this past season isn't going to even put up a 780 OPS, but you think Michael Conforto is going to put up an 850 OPS?
I mean, I mean, call me crazy, brother. I just think Michael Conforto is a better player. Um,
Yeah, but where do you see how do you see him getting to
I
850
mean, I
OPS?
mean, obviously we're a few years removed, but his best year, just look at his best stretch from 2017 to 2020. 939 OPS, 797 OPS, 856 OPS, 927 OPS. Even last year when he
Yeah,
finally
that
like
162 game average in that stretch came out to an 864 OPS with um so I mean,
yeah,
we're
on his
four
career,
years
he was
removed from that.
120 OPS plus hitter and an 804 OPS. I mean, I don't want to put anything past the Dodgers lab. He's only 31 years old. Let me go ahead and check his birthday. His birthday is
He's
March
coming off
1st,
of an
so he'll be
injury.
32nd. He'll be 32 going into this year. I mean, 32 seems about prime year right there, to be honest with you. So, nah, man, I don't put it past him. I think Martin Conforto is a great hitter. I really do.
No, I
Um,
think he's good too, but I just don't see the route of him putting up an 850 OPS.
Well, I
I
was
mean,
talking about that
he's
as his ceiling, brother. Like that's his like absolute like if he goes balls to the wall, I think an
okay.
850 OPS is out of the. And I said his floor is about a 790, which I think is pretty truthful, at least from what we've seen the past couple years with San Francisco. I mean 718, 759. I just think he's gonna get better over there in LA, and that's why I put his floor a little bit higher.
I agree too, but yeah. I mean, I guess I just don't see the route of him. I don't know. I mean, I like Michael Conforto. He's always walked and
Hmm.
he slugs at a decent rate.
And he's a decent
Um,
defender, man. I mean, at least he's better than Teoscar Hernandez. Let me tell you what.
yeah, well, that's setting the floor pretty low.
Better than Jurickson Profar, who we just went off about,
That's
bro.
also setting the floor pretty low. Um, but yeah, let's Tanner Scott also. I mean,
Best
uh,
reliever
I
on the
guess
market this year.
I think this is my problem with these guys is Howard. I'm more so mad at the players than the Dodgers. Tanner Scott, you could be a top 3 to 5 closer in baseball, and you go over to the Dodgers to ride Shohei's private parts and maybe pitch the seventh and eighth. It's like, dude, what are you? I mean, come on. Like, you just don't care about your own. You're not selfish at all. I mean, yeah, good for you for being selfless, but it's like I'm gonna go pitch the seventh and eighth inning and play third fiddle in that bullpen, even though I could be the best pitcher in that bullpen.
Who do you think their
The
closer is?
I think it's gonna be committee. I mean, Tanner Scott might get some saves, Blake Trinan might get some saves,
I think
Alex
Dustin May might
Vesia
get
might
some.
get some
I think
saves.
Bruce Dar might get some saves. Yeah. I mean to pay him $72 million. Granted, 21 million is deferred. I feel like you don't pay $72 million to a reliever unless he's your closer. But when you have that type of bullpen that LA has, I guess you're right. I think it is a community day. I think whoever, just play matchups. You
He's just
play
gonna play
rest
matchups.
days.
Yeah.
You just play just whoever's available, man. And throughout that lineup, I mean, you're gonna mash too. So I mean, who even knows how many save opportunities are gonna be
I
there?
mean, same with Snell. I mean,
But
he's a
Snell,
two-time Cy Young, and he's not even gonna be labeled as their one on opening
who's labeled
day.
as their one? Tell me.
Glass now.
No, bro, you're crazy. I
Go
don't
to
even.
roster resource. How do they have it labeled? I mean, I'm
Okay,
sure Shohei's probably their one because they MLB loves Shohei. But it's just like Snell literally said he didn't he say he didn't want to go to the Dodgers?
I don't
I,
know, bro.
I
Snell
could
says a
be
lot of
quoting him
bullshit.
wrong, but it's just like Jesus Christ. But
Their
anyway,
one
they
is Blake Snell. Their
okay,
one,
so
it
they
goes
do have
Blake
him.
Snell, Yoshinobu Yamamoto, Tyler Glasnow, Tony Gonsolin, and Roki Sasaki is your five. It doesn't even have a projected thing for Shohei Ohtani, which I
Yeah,
think is pretty
that's
right.
wrong.
I think Shohei Ohtani pitches maybe every 10 days, but that's just me, man.
I mean, they paid him 700 million. They're gonna
I
make him
mean, they paid
pitch.
Soto or 800 million. You know what I mean?
Well, that's the Mets. That just
I'm just
okay. Well,
saying. I
why
feel like with that
10 years
Soto
versus
signing,
15, bro? Like, get a grip.
with
If we put
$68 million
put
deferred,
five
brother.
more put 5 more years on Otani's contract, and we're looking at a 1.05 billion dollar contract, brother. I mean, come on, you can't compare the total amount to that when there's another half decade on Soto's contract.
Who knows, brother? Who knows? But I don't know. I think Shohei Ohtani's more valuable as a batter than he is a pitcher. So why stretch him out,
Yeah,
especially when you have that type
absolutely.
of depth? So I think pitching
But I
maybe
mean,
7 to
what's the
10
thing with the
days.
Dodgers? What's the thing with the Dodgers? Every single one of their pitchers goes down.
Yeah,
Glasnow's going to go down this season. Snell always goes down. Yamamoto went down last season, although he's been pretty durable in Japan. So I don't know if
it's
it
only 26 though,
continues.
brother. So
Yeah.
I mean, we'll see.
Sasaki's got injury history. Gonsolin can't stay healthy to save a damn soul.
May
Kershaw,
can't.
once they bring him out back, can't stay healthy. May can't. Bobby Miller's dealt with injury. The only one that, or Gavin Stone's dealt with injury.
Well, he's out the whole year.
Yeah. I mean, have they had a starting pitcher in this rotation pitch 180 innings in their career?
No.
Has Shohei ever done that?
Mm-mm. Well, Shohei, I think he pitched what 190 with the Angels. No.
Yeah, I think he had a a season where he did pitch a lot. Let me see.
Well, that's the Dodgers, man. I mean, you bring out Sung Kim, international free agent. Looks like he's going to be play third or second base because you traded Gavin Lux. So, who do you play second? Do you think it's going to be Sung Kim or do you think it's going to be Max Muncy?
I think Hyesung Kim's gonna get some reps there. I don't know. I think they have a Tommy Edman might get some reps there. I mean, Tommy Edman is gonna play center, but I'm sure when they put Outman out there, they could put Tommy Edman in at second. Um, they just got committee. They got obviously some young prospects that they could call up to play different positions. I think the second base position is going to be a fluid rotation, and whoever's
Between who? I really don't. I mean, I look at their bench right now. You got Austin Barnes, Miguel Rojas, Chris Taylor, and Andy Pajes.
well, I
So
mean,
Andy,
Miggy was good. Chris Taylor can play second. Song Kim can play second. Tommy Edman can play second. I mean, like I said, there's a lot of guys there that can play second, and
do you think Mookie stays at shortstop all year?
I don't think he should. But I don't understand how you say we want to rest Mookie and you throw him at shortstop.
One of the most demanding positions. I
Yeah,
mean,
I
no
mean,
doubt about it. More demanding than
what's more
right field.
demanding, shortstop or center field or shortstop? Let's say we put him in center. Center by maybe a little bit.
I don't know.
Like I don't understand that, but I mean, and Mookie's not a good defender at shortstop. That's the only position where he rates out as a bad defender.
Well, I mean, we've seen
And
Mookie
when you
Betts,
have
brother.
you have
I'm gonna
Tommy
go how
Edman in center field, who's
I
a
get it. Yeah,
great
no, 100%.
shortstop defender, I don't understand.
I don't get it either, brother. But I mean, whatever the Dodgers think.
I
I mean,
mean, they're
obviously
doing
it's working.
everything right over
Yeah, I
there,
mean,
so
so I mean, it's hard to say
I'm
that
not
you're
gonna
making a dumb
question them.
decision. Exactly, exactly. So
Yeah.
then you bring back Blake Trinan, 2 years, $22 million, and then you bring Roki Sasaki in on a 6.5 international pool bonus money. So good on you. And then you get Mike Sirota for in the Gavin Lux trade. So I mean,
We obviously
we
talked
can make
about
it quick.
Roki
Yeah,
last video, so
we can make it quick. I mean, it's an A+, man. They're definitely the
yeah.
winners of the offseason so far. I mean, when you bring back Blake Snell, who's arguably was the number one free agent on pitching free agent on the market next to Corbin Burns, but I mean, on any given day, you can make a conversation on who was number one. And then you bring in Tanner Scott, who was easily the best reliever on the market, and then you bring back Teoscar Hernandez, who was arguably your best hitter last year. So no, no, he was a
Not
great hitter.
best.
Yes, he was a
Yeah.
great hitter last year. Great hitter. I mean, All-Star Home Run Derby champion and then World Series champion. So I mean, great year for Teoscar Hernandez if you walk in his shoes. And then Blake Trinan, arguably one of the nastiest relievers in the game, even to this day. So and then Roki Sasaki. I mean, A plus man. I mean, we'll see. You want to go over or under wins on the Dodgers this year?
I think the line is set at 103.5, but I
I'm
think
gonna
that
go
was
under.
before Tanner Scott signing.
I'm gonna go under on
Um,
that one.
I mean, it's hard to say. I would just stay away from the line if I was a better because,
I think they're like a 99 to like a 101 win ball club.
yeah, I mean,
I
they're
think
gonna win
103
the
is pretty
NL
high.
West, I think.
Yeah, for sure. Well, we'll go into the NL West and we'll tell you why the Dodgers are going to be projected to win the NL West. So we'll go ahead and start with we'll take a quick break and then we'll start with your favorite team in the National League.
Yeah. All right,
All right,
let's
man.
head on and move on to the one side of the spectrum to the other, the San Diego Padres, who have had a dreadful offseason. And I wouldn't necessarily say it's their fault. There's obviously some outside situations that we've heard about extensively most recently, with their drama in the front office, or not front office, ownership, um,
With the passing of their owner
with their
Peter
passing of,
Sigler,
yeah, beside their brothers.
mm-hmm.
Their only addition was recently Ron Mauricio Ano,
Marinaccio brothers.
Marinaccio, um, for the from the White Sox for cash. We could go over their losses. This one's gonna be real quick. David Peralta, Tanner Scott, Jerkson Profar, Donovan Solano, Martin Perez, Kyle Higashioka, the home run stroker, Elias Diaz, Nick Ahmed, and Hassan Kim is still a free agent. Um, it's gonna be quick. This is an F. I mean,
It's an
it's
F
very unfortunate.
just by because of the criteria that we've been voting these other teams in. If you want to factor in variables, I mean, I just feel like they're just non-graded at this up to this point, man. But they are dealing with a lot of things. I mean, they were in on Roki Sasaki. I mean, they made a couple of trades to get some international full bonus money, but he didn't want to play with Darvish. He wanted to go play with his teammates in Yoshinobu Yamamoto and Shohei Ohtani. So I mean, at least they try to get that big fish with Roki Sasaki. But I mean, going over their projected lineup, I mean, you still have Dylan Cease, Michael King, Yu Darvish, Randy Vasquez, and Matt Waldron in your starting rotation. So I mean, your 1, 2, 3, it's a playoff type of rotation with Cease, King, and Darvish. So good on them for still keeping those guys.
I
Dylan
mean,
Cease is
Cease is
on a
on the
free
trade
agent
block.
year. Yeah, he's on a free agent year right now on the trade block. If you want to go through the lineup real quick, man, you got Luis Ariz, Tatis Jr., Jackson Merrill, Manny Machado, Jay Cronenworth, Xander Bogarts, Tirso Ornelius. Is that how you say his name, brother?
He's actually gonna be. I think he's gonna be solid.
And Luis Campusano, and then Yugi Rosario. So how do you feel about that lineup?
It's very top heavy. It kind of falls off the cliff, obviously, after the front five.
After
And
Xander, top
Xander
six.
hasn't even been very good. And then Arise is obviously on the trade block as well. It's just an unfortunate situation. I mean, with the passing of one of the better owners in baseball who was putting his all in to get this Padres team to compete in if we look back to the place they were this past season, God, they had the World Series champs literally on their heels, man. We're up 2-1 in the division series. And
Didn't score a run in games
yeah,
4 or 5. So I mean, you lose in 5, you drop that the division series to the Dodgers, which seems just kind of like give and take every single year. It's either the Padres are knocking out the Dodgers, or the Dodgers are knocking out the Padres. I don't think that's going to be the case this year. I mean, the Padres still have an incredible roster, very top heavy. Bullpen's still pretty good, man. If you want to run through their bullpen real quick, Robert Suarez, Jason Adam, Jeremiah Estrada, Adrian Morejon, Yuki Matsui, Wandy Peralta, Sean Reynolds, and Brian Hoeing. So I mean, that's a good bullpen, man. Definitely towards the top of the league for sure. I don't know what Joe Musgrove's injury is. I don't know if he's going to be out for a majority of the
I
year or
think
if
he's
he's
gonna
going to be
be out all
back.
year.
Surprise, surprise. I mean, Joe Musgrove again, not being healthy, not being able to pitch. Good thing he already has a World Series ring over there with the Astros. But yeah, I mean, it's just it's an F just by pure just non-activity, man. It sucks to be a Padres fan right now, man. Especially seeing what your division rivals are doing on just a few hours away from your stadium. So yeah, I mean, there's not really much to touch base on the Padres. I definitely don't think they're a bad team. I think they're definitely within that 85 to 90 win ball club range. If you go ahead and disagree at any point, but I still think they're definitely capable of 85 to 90 wins. So I think we should just move on, man. Talk about the Diamondbacks.
Yeah, the Diamondbacks, I went out and did some things this offseason. They obviously brought in the big fish, Corbin Burns, little hometown discount, 6 years, 210 million. And then they traded
That's a big
for,
contract, though, brother. That's not. I mean, 6 years for 210. That's a big contract.
yeah,
But he
it
could have got
was a
more. He could have
hometown
got more.
discount. Yeah.
He could have
I
got
mean,
more.
and then they brought in Josh Naylor, after losing, uh,
Christian Walker.
Christian Walker, and then they acquired Greg Kessinger, from the Astros, the little infielder. Um, And then we'll talk about their losses. Christian Walker and Peterson, obviously their big two losses. And then they also lost Kevin Newman, Josh Bell, Slade Saccone, Paul Sewald, Scott McHugh, Randall Grichuk, and Matthew Linsky. Um, I'm really excited to see what their rotation could do now with Corbin Burns being their one. I mean, they kind of have co-ones too, I think.
I know.
I
I don't.
don't
I
know.
completely disagree with that. It's
Okay.
Corbin Burns
I,
as your
I,
ace, 100%. I mean, there's no
but
interchange.
how can you disagree when Zach Gallen
No,
is a
it's
one
Corbin
on a
Burns,
lot of,
brother.
you could
No.
have two co-ones, Andrew.
Okay, there's a difference between a one and an ace. We've had this conversation multiple
I
times.
said two co-ones. Did I call Zach Gallen an
Well,
ace?
I don't understand how you can be a co-one when you already have a solidified ace on
Because
your team.
how many teams would Zach Gallen be a one on?
Okay, not the Dodgers, not the Padres, not the Giants, only the Rockies and the Diamondbacks. So even in their division,
Okay, we could argue the Giants. I think Logan Webb is better, but we could argue that. He'd be the one on the
the
Red
Rockies,
Sox. He'd be a one on the Blue Jays. He'd be a one on
the Orioles.
the Orioles, yes. He'd be a one on
Is he better
is he
than
a
Pablo
one? No, he's
Lopez?
not better than the Rays. Yes, I think he's better than Pablo Lopez right now.
Okay,
He's
he's
the
one on the
one
White
on the
Sox.
Guardians. He's the one on every single
He's
team.
better than Shane Bieber. He's
Yes,
better than
right
Shane
now.
Bieber.
Yeah,
No,
Shane Bieber is injured and coming off Tommy John. Oh
no,
my God, you're
no.
ridiculous. How can you say that?
Shane Bieber is better than
He's
Zach
not better
Gallen,
than
brother.
Cole Reagans, but he's the one on the Twins, and he's the one on the White Sox,
What
obviously.
about the
But who
Tigers? Is he better
cares?
than Tariq School?
No, obviously he's not better than the Cy Young, but he's the one on 18 to 20 teams in the MLB. He's the one on
18?
every.
Okay, let's see.
He's not a
Orioles,
one on the
Blue
Yankees. No,
Jays.
let's just go against
Okay,
teams on. He's
Yankees,
not a one on.
Dodgers,
Yankees,
Padres,
Dodgers, Padres.
Giants. I still put Logan Webb
No,
above him. You
that's
already said Logan Webb
we
was
said
better.
solidified. That you could argue that.
Okay, Rays, Mariners.
That's six.
Okay, Tigers, Giants, or Mets. I mean Giants. What the fuck is wrong with me?
He's not better.
Mets.
He's not
He's.
better than Kodai Senga.
I mean, you think Kodai Senga can go out and win a Cy Young,
I
brother?
think he's good, but he hasn't proven it yet
Okay.
completely. So we can't
Who
say the
would you rather
Mets
have, Zach Gallen or Kodai Senga?
in this coming up season. Zach Gallen. Kodai Senga is coming off a shoulder injury.
Okay. Is he better than Sandy Alcantara
No.
or Yuri Perez?
Yeah, I mean we can't say
He's
Yuri
not better
Perez
than
is
Zach Wheeler.
great. Okay, so that's nine teams so
He's
far.
not better than Spencer Strider or Chris Sale.
Okay, 10.
Okay. Um. So we what? NL Central. Is he better than Brandon Woodruff?
Yes.
Is he better than Freddie Peralta?
Yes.
Okay. So then you go to the Cubs. Shota Imanaga.
Yeah, he's better than Shota.
Okay. He's not better than Skeens.
I guess, yeah.
Is he
There's
better
a
than Hunter
lot.
Green? I don't. I
Yeah.
personally don't think so.
Hunter Green, Hunter Green, we need to see more out of. He's not solidified.
I think Hunter Green's ceiling is far higher than Zach
Okay,
Gallen's.
but we're not talking about ceiling. We're talking about right now.
Okay. I think in terms of you pushing the Zach Gallen narrative,
When you're a
I
one on
think
more than
you're
half of the teams in baseball,
It's not
Then you could
interchangeable.
you
The
could be a
first conversation on
co-one.
why this argument started is because you think it's interchangeable. It's simply
I
just
didn't say
Corbin
I,
Burns is
I
one,
didn't say interchangeable. I said when you have two co-ones at the top of your
but they're
rotation.
not
Okay,
co-ones
Garrett
though.
Cole or Max Fried are co-ones, right?
No, Garrett Cole's better than
Oh my
Max
God.
Fried.
Oh my God. Okay, so Chris Sale and Spencer
I
Strider are
think
co-ones.
co-ones is like
So
Gilbert,
so
Kirby, Castillo. I think on any given night they could be
okay, and you
SP1.
put Castillo in that thing, but not Gallen, and Gallen's better than Castillo. So
Well,
you just said Zach Gallen would
well,
be a
Gallon would
co-one
be
on
a
the
co-one.
Mariners.
Yes, would be a
You, s-
co-one on the Mariners. Yes.
but he's not a co-one on the Diamondbacks, who have a worse rotation than the Mariners.
Well, Corbin Burns is better than all five pitchers on the Mariners.
I, I mean, yeah, barely. He's barely better than Logan Gilbert.
No, not barely. No.
Bro, pull up Logan Gilbert's numbers
I
right now.
I know Logan Gilbert stats. Corbin Burns has a longevity, longer record, Cy Young
Logan
Award
Gilbert,
winner.
when did he win a Cy Young?
Corbin Burns?
Yeah,
Corbin Burns is a Cy Young winner, brother.
when?
In 2021?
Yeah, you're right. I forgot about that year. Okay. Yeah, but we're talking about right now. We're 4 years removed
Oh,
from
shut
that.
the fuck up, bro. Just
Logan
bow down,
Gilbert,
brother. Corbin Burns is your
Logan,
SP1.
I,
He's your ace. He
I'm,
starts
you
game
could
one,
have,
game
okay, so
seven. He
answer
starts
this
game
question.
five.
Answer
What?
this question. Are Strider and Sale not co-aces or co-ones?
Sale's a different type of story because of his track record. Based on going into this year, who's better, Chris Sale or Spencer Strider? Chris Sale.
Wha- uh, Okay. So you think Sale Strider's a two.
Yes.
You don't think that Braves have co-ones.
I think I think they have two aces, if that makes sense.
So why can't the Diamondbacks have two co-ones?
Because Zach Gallen is not an ace.
Neither is, I mean, is Corbin an ace right now?
Yes, Corbin Burns is a
Corbin's an
solidified
ace.
ace across the league. You have Zach Wheeler, Garrett Cole, Framber Valdez, Corbin Burns. You know what I mean? Dylan Cease, Blake Snell,
Said
Chris
Blake Snell
Sale, Tariq
twice.
Skubal. Those are the only solidified aces in the league.
That's so okay. So Zach Gallen, who's been a top 20 pitcher in baseball, 15 to 20 pitcher in baseball, can't be a co-one. I'm not saying he's the ace on the team. I'm just saying the quality of pitching they have. They have two co-ones. They have two ones at the top of their lineup or rotation. Am I right or am I wrong?
I mean, he has a 3.38 FIP. His whip was out of this world this year,
Who
brother.
gives a fuck about whip? Oh my God.
His whip was crazy this year, brother.
I mean, Zach Gallen 2 years ago was top three in Cy Young voting
Mm.
and was top five 2 out of 3 of last year. 2 out of the 3 last years he's played. I mean, how can you say he's not a co-one?
I want to bring in Cy Young finishes. So for the past since 2020, he's been top 8 in Cy Young every single year.
Yeah, I'm not saying he's better than Corbin. What I'm saying is they have two number one quality pitchers at the top of their rotation, so they can be co-ones.
For the benefit of just moving on
If
and
Corbin
continue to
goes
talk about
down,
the
if
Diamondbacks, I'll go
Corbin
ahead and
goes
agree
down,
with you.
if Corbin goes down, do they not have another one to fill in instantly?
Sure, Zach Gallen. I'm
I,
saying
I-
they have the arguably one of the best two starters right next to Max Fried on their
I'm
team.
not saying he's not the two on the team. I'm saying they have two quality number one pitchers on their roster.
Okay. Yes, they do.
Like, how could
Yes.
you disagree with that?
Because I just don't like the comparison to saying Zach
It's
Gallen is
not a
as quality of a
comparison
pair of
as
a
at
pitcher of
all.
Corbin
It's not a
Burns.
comparison at all. I said Corbin Burns is better. It's not a comparison. It's me saying they have two number one quality style pitchers on their team.
Yes,
And
Zach
so
Gallen can
therefore
start
they would
game
be
one and game seven.
co-ones.
Yes, Zach Gallen can start game one
So
and game
what
seven.
what disagreeing what are you disagreeing on?
I just don't like comparing Zach Gallen to Corbin Burns
We're
because I think
not
Corbin Burns
how
is a
when
better
did I
pitcher.
compare him?
Because you said they're like they can both be an SP1. You know what I
You
mean?
just said they
But
could
they
be.
can. Yes, they can. But at the time when you first said that, I thought you were basically trying to say that going
Okay.
into the year, you can see Zach Gallen being the SP1. I just don't
No,
see that. I
no.
just don't see that at all.
That's like saying Judge and Soto weren't fucking co best hitters on their team.
Okay,
Like
sure.
obviously
Yes.
one's better than the other, but like they're both elite, so they can be share a position of greatness.
Okay, so you have two ones at the top of your rotation. You got Corbin Burns, Zach Gallen. Then you have Merrill Kelly, Eduardo Rodriguez, Brandon Pfaadt, and Jordan Montgomery. I mean, I think that's a great rotation, brother.
It's a great rotate. I
I
think
think
it's a
that's a
top.
great rotation.
What would you say?
Top
Five,
five.
seven,
So let's
five,
see. You got the
top five.
Yankees, you got the Dodgers, you have the Mariners. Do you want to
The
plug in the
Phillies,
Phillies? Yeah.
a hundred
And then
percent.
you have the yeah, the Diamondbacks.
Maybe
Who
the
has a better rotation?
Padres,
No,
but the
because
Padres
their
just are
four or
so
five is
top heavy.
terrible.
Yeah.
Um,
If they had Musgrove, maybe.
I think the Pirates are going to be in that conversation here pretty soon.
Mm.
Um, yeah, I mean, yeah, I think it's a top five rotation. I mean, is
Pirates are
there
the
any other
same as the
team?
Padres, top heavy.
We can talk about the Pirates in the next episode when we go through the NL Central, but
Yeah.
I think they have a very, 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 very,
Yeah,
very good
I
rotation.
think they have a top 5 to 6 rotation. I mean, are we putting the Astros there? Maybe
No, because after Framber, you kind of have like a bunch of ones that are unproven yet. You know what I mean?
you
You
have a
have
bunch of like
like a threes
threes.
right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Maybe going into
I mean, that's a good
2026, you
rotation
could.
though.
Yeah, it's
But
too
yeah,
unproven. It's a
I
little
would say
too
the
unproven.
Diamondbacks have a better one. What about the
Yeah.
Gi No, the Giants don't. No. Yeah, I would say top 5 to 7. So yeah.
I mean, I think the Red Sox and the
Oh, the
Diamondbacks.
Red Sox
It's
have
the
a good
same
rotation.
thing about the Astros with the Red Sox. Oh, I
Yeah.
think the Rays. I think the Rays are a
Oh,
little bit
Rays for
better
sure.
than
Yeah.
the Diamondbacks, brother.
So I
But
mean, but
the
I think that's
Diamondbacks are
top
right
five
there.
still.
Yeah.
So
And top
top
five, you
five to
have
six. Yeah.
the Dodgers, the Yankees,
The Mariners,
Mariners, Rays,
the Rays,
Diamondbacks.
Phillies. We forgot
Oh,
the Phillies
Phillies.
have a
So
better
it's the
rotation, I think.
Phillies. It's either the Rays or the Diamondbacks. I think I'm going to give the edge to the Rays, which is kind of hypocritical because it's kind of saying we're unproven. It's just the Rays are just so I don't.
They have the
We'll
depth.
give them the
They have the
Diamondbacks.
depth.
I'll
Yeah.
give it to the Diamondbacks just because I can't give them to the Rays
Whatever.
if we're going to say the
We'll just say
Astros,
top
Red Sox.
six. We'll
Yeah,
just say top six.
yeah, yeah, man. And then their bullpen's solid. I mean, AJ Puck, Kevin Ginkel, Ryan Thompson, Joe Mantiply, Seth Martinez, Bryce Jarvis, and Justin Martinez as your closer. So that's really good, man. Really, really good.
And
And then
then
you have,
obviously they were the best offense in baseball last season.
I
So
mean, what do we want to talk about when we talk about their offense? I mean, you have Corbin Carroll, MVP, Ketel Marte, MVP, Josh Naylor, top five first baseman,
candidates.
Lourdes
Top
Gurriel.
five?
Let's see, Bryce Harper, Vladimir Guerrero Jr., Christian Walker,
Freddie
Freddie
Freeman,
Freeman,
Matt Olson,
Matt Olson, Josh Naylor.
Yandy Diaz.
I mean, yeah, I suppose. Okay, my bad. Top seven, first baseman, Josh
Top
Naylor.
10. Just say top 10.
Let's just say top five in the National League, first baseman, and Josh Naylor. Um,
Okay, you gotta throw your favorites in there. Just give them any
Lourdes
number.
Gurriel Jr., just so consistent, brother. Great player. Jake McCarthy, um, kind
You
of
know who?
unproven. You kind of know what kind of player you're getting out of Jake
I'm waiting
McCarthy.
for
Solid
you to
player.
say this guy's name because I'm really excited to see him.
Eugenio Suarez,
No, no, no,
Pavin Smith,
no, 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 no,
Gabby Marino,
no, 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 no.
Geraldo Perdomo,
Yeah, no, no,
Jose Herrera,
no,
Blaze Alexander,
no,
Alec Thomas,
no. But shout out Alec Thomas.
Tim Tawa.
No.
That's all they have in the projected roster.
Oh, no, it is Pavin Smith. Did you say Pavin Smith?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. I'm really excited to see what Pavin Smith can
Pavin
do.
Smith is 29. Did you know that?
Yeah, but I think he's good. He put up a 900 OPS last year in 60 games.
Sure, sure. He's Kerry Carpenter of 2023.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's gonna be good. Yeah, I'm
Yeah, man,
excited to see
solid
what
lineup.
Pavin Smith
Solid lineup.
does.
Their rotation's really fucking good. Um, I don't even know. I don't know who I would choose between the Padres and Diamondbacks as the second place finisher.
Diamondbacks. I would choose. I think the Diamondbacks can win 95 games this season.
I mean, their bullpen's good. Their rotation's really good. I mean,
Their lineup's good.
they have rotational ones over there
You
on
tell
their
me
one
Corbin
two.
Carroll gives me a 900. All right, let's just 850 OPS. Ketel Marte is 85% of what he was last season.
Ketel Marte is so
We're
fucking
setting
good.
the bar low for these
Ketel
guys
Marte
too.
is so good.
And Josh Naylor is exactly what he was last year. Gabby Moreno, I think, is going to be better.
Gavin
Gino,
Moreno's only 25, brother.
yeah, Gino Suarez is going to be good. Um, I
Gino
mean,
Suarez is
yeah,
getting up there in age. He's going to be 34. Damn. I remember him
yeah, he's been in
smashing
the league a
45
long
home runs
time.
with Cincinnati, and now he's
I
34.
think this team can win 95 games. I'm going to take their over on their win total. I think their win total is 86 and a half. I'm going to sprinkle some. some bread on that shit.
for sure. As their offseason, I mean, I'm in the B plus, A minus range. I
Yeah,
mean, you bring in Corbin Burns, Josh Naylor. I mean, just that one signing in Corbin Burns alone gets you at least a B in my eyes. You do lose Christian Walker, but you replace
but
him with
they
Josh
replaced him with
Naylor,
yeah.
and then you lose Jock Peterson, and as Ryan kind of mentioned, I
Pavin
mean, he
Smith
Pavin
can
Smith
take in. Yeah,
is gonna slot in there. I mean, who's gonna start against left-handed pitching at the DH days? I mean, I really don't know, but I mean,
we
and
got
I
some
know
guys that can fill
you're
in.
gonna see a righty a lot more often than you see a lefty
Yeah,
anyway. So they'll cross that bridge when they get to
I
it.
mean, I just don't see a lot of games like if we're talking about a playoff series where this team is at a disadvantage.
No, I mean maybe Merrill Kelly kind of shows his
But
age. Maybe
Merrill
he
Kelly's
takes
real good.
a step down. I think Eduardo Rodriguez is a really good pitcher. I
And
think
I
Brandon
think
Pfaadt's a
Fox,
really
they're
good pitcher.
four.
I think Jordan Montgomery is a really good pitcher. I don't even want to talk about Jordan Montgomery's 2024. I think that's just a shell of himself. I don't think that's the player he is, and I think you're going to see a real good bounce back here from Jordan Montgomery. I think he's too good not to bounce back. Obviously, me and you have seen a lot of Jordan Montgomery throughout his career. Sometime with the Rangers, World Series champion with the Rangers, and a long tenure over there in New York until we traded for Harrison Bader and sent him to St. Louis. But yeah, man, Jordan Montgomery, he gets outs. He's a ground ball pitcher. Can definitely strike you out too. Yeah, man, I'll give him
Yeah,
a solid B plus, if
yeah,
not A
I'm in
minus.
that range too.
Yeah,
All right, let's move on to another fun off season. And
fun.
and
Would you call it fun? I'd call it
yeah,
taking the
it's
best I possibly could.
it's fun. I
Sure.
like I like the Giants.
I don't like the Giants. I don't know, something about the Giants. Just I don't like orange, I suppose. But I mean they're cool. They're a cool ball club. I loved Blake Snell. I like Matthew Christopher Chapman, and I like
Is that
Logan
his
Webb.
middle name?
No, I don't know. Just it flows, so I call him Christopher. Um,
Okay.
shout out Matt Chapman though. Oakland native, and now slowly plays there in San Fran. So you take a flyer on a 49-year-old Justin Verlander on a 1 year, $15 million deal, and then you go out and sign. Would you say he's the hottest shortstop free agent on the market this past season, Willie Adames?
Yeah, for sure.
And 7 years, $182 million, and then they claim Ryan's favorite catcher and Sam Huff off of waivers from the Rangers.
By the way, his middle name is James.
Shout out Christopher.
Matthew James Chapman kind of flows too, by the way. So,
Um, but yeah, man, I'll go ahead let you highlight the losses, and then we can get on to the Rockies after.
Christian, I'm sorry. They lost Blake Snell, Mark Canha, Kirk Casale, Michael Conforto, and Blake Sable. They traded for international bread and William Kemp Kemper as well.
Yep, trades to the
Um,
Marlins for international pool space.
I'm excited to see what Buster Posey's cooking. I think he's gonna try to build a roster over here in San Francisco, and I think it started with that Matt Chapman extension, and then I also think bringing in Adames and bringing in a vet like Verlander can help their young starting pitchers who kind of seem like they were like diverging from success in a way. Like Kyle Harrison hasn't shown much. I mean, he's had some flashes, but I think bringing in a vet like Justin Verlander can help.
Before we kind of talk about Kyle Harrison, I mean, he's 23 years old. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um, so we'll see how Kyle Harrison does. I mean, he's had a couple flashes of being good, but then a couple of flashes of being abysmal. But he's only 23 years old, brother. So we'll go
Yeah,
ahead and
that's what
see.
I'm saying. Verlander
But
can
maybe Verlander can do that. Maybe even Robbie Gray. I mean, Robbie Way was kind of banged up, and Robbie Ray is also a
Bobby Way.
lefty. Yeah, Robbie Way. Uh, Robbie Christopher Ray. But anyways, Robbie Ray has been banged up. Former Cy Young Award winner that same year Corbin Burns won, I believe, was in 2021. So
Yeah.
them both being lefties, Robbie Ray kind of being around the block. I mean, where did he start? Where did he start his career off? The Diamondbacks. Then he went to Toronto. Then he went to Seattle, and now he's over there in San Francisco. Definitely got a good payday as well. So maybe Kyle Harrison can kind
He
of
actually
be in
started
Robbie
his
Ray.
career out in Detroit, brother.
All right, he started in Detroit. I remember him being in
Yeah, but
Arizona,
he
but
spent
whatever.
most of his young
In
career
Arizona.
in Arizona. He spent one season in Detroit.
Yeah, all right, bro. Ryan has to test my ball knowledge. Really, he had to throw in his 2 cents. He started his career out in Detroit. My bad, Robbie Christopher Ray. But and then we'll highlight his their lineup. We got Jung Ho Lee, Willie Adames, Lamont Wade Jr. Shout out Lamont Wade Jr.
He's
Brother. He's a
so
great
good.
player. He's a solid
Top
player.
10 first baseman.
He might be top five in the National League. Matt Chapman, Tyler
That Tyler.
Fitzgerald, Mike Yastrzemski. God damn, that fool's old. He's 34 and a half. You have Heliot Ramos,
That was kind of
went
rude.
nuclear, went nuclear when he got the call up this year. And then you got Wilmer Flores and Patrick Bailey going to be behind the dish. And then on your bench, you have your backup catcher in Tom Murphy. Then you have Brett Wisely, utility guy. And then you have Jerrer Encarnacion, if you want to, never heard of the dude, if you want to touch base on him.
What?
Never heard of
Jerry
Jerrer
got called up.
Encarnacion.
He got called up in 2022. He's been in the league for a cup, or
And
he
then you
didn't play
have
in 2023.
like your sixth outfielder in Grant McCrae. So when you look up Encarnacion, I'll
I
highlight their bullpen. You got Ryan Walker, Tyler Rogers, Taylor Rogers, Camilo Duval, Eric Miller, Sean
Sean
Hygel.
Jelly, brother.
Dude,
Jesus.
The H is silent, I
I
suppose.
know everyone knows who Sean Jelly is. He's like
Sean
6'10".
Jelly,
Come on, dude. Pay attention.
Sean Jelly, Randy Rodriguez. I know who Randy Rodriguez is. That who's nasty. Tristan Beck. So I mean, solid bullpen. When you have
I just
Ryan
can't
Walker
believe
and Camilo Duval, I mean that's a solid bullpen.
that. I don't want to give up on Duvall yet. He's
Never, bro.
nasty.
Duval's nasty. I'm never gonna give up on Duval. He can give up a 10 ERA next year. I promise you, I'm still drafting him in fantasy the next. Camilo Duval's that nasty, brother. Um, Highlight the rotation. Logan Webb, solidified ace across the league. I don't care what anyone says. Logan Webb is solidified ace. He is a great pitcher. Got voted the nastiest pitch in Major League Baseball with his changeup. And then you got Robbie Ray as your two, Justin Verlander as your three, Kyle Harrison as your four, and Jordan Hicks as your five. I mean, I don't think Jordan Hicks is a starter, but go ahead. I mean, if he's your five, he's
I
going
mean, he
four
burned
innings.
out at the last season, but I think we saw him be good in the first
Oh,
half.
he's great. I
So
had him in fantasy baseball as well. I think Jordan Hicks was a great player. His velo obviously dropped. I mean, you're not going to be
yeah,
throwing
but I think he's going to
110%
be
when
more
you're a
prepared
starter.
this season.
Yeah, definitely. He's only
So
28. He's still got room to grow. We obviously see pitchers kind of blossom in their later half of the year. Not to say that Jordan Hicks has ever been bad, but definitely transitioning from a closer's role or a late relief guy to a starter is definitely going to take some time to adjust. So yeah, man. I mean, I don't
what do
necessarily
you
know how
think
to.
Verlander gives this team? How many innings ERA?
I mean, has Verlander's won two World Series,
Whoa. Was
2017
he
and
on the
2022?
17 team?
I want to say he was.
I don't think he
Well, even at the
was.
very least, he definitely has one ring. Um, I think he's
Was
definitely going to bring a veteran presence. I don't know what his leadership qualities are. I haven't. Justin Verlander kind of sticks to himself. He is a
yeah, he was on that 17 team.
yeah two time World Series.
He got traded in the off deadline that season.
Yeah, shout out Justin Verlander, Old Dominion University out of Norfolk, Virginia. Good for him. I mean,
First ballot
definitely a
Hall of
first
Famer.
ballot Hall of Famer, unanimous Hall of Famer in my opinion, unless you have that one fucking writer who didn't want to give it to Ichiro on the damn ballot. But other than that, I mean, I don't necessarily know what he brings to this ball club. I definitely know he could still pitch. I mean, I in a sense where he's not going to give the dirtiest of stuff, but there's more to pitching than just stuff. You know what I mean? And I think he still has the second half or the second part of pitching still deep in his bag. So I don't necessarily know what he's going to bring to this ball club. I think he just brings knowledge, if anything. Even he pitches to 60 to 70 innings, I don't think they're going to be the greatest of innings. I think he's maybe about a 4.2 ERA kind of guy. But
I mean,
uh,
those are good innings.
I mean, yeah, I mean they're solid. I mean, he's 41 years old, brother. He still can light up the radar gun. I think he's still sitting about 94, 95. I mean, it's pretty fucking good if you ask me. At for 41 years old. But yeah, at least
Is
he's
it
gonna be
crazy
able
we're
to
two
teach these.
years removed from him winning a Cy Young?
Yeah, but he won a Cy Young at what? Let's see, 39 years old, brother. You know what I
That's
mean?
crazy, bro.
So yeah. But shout out Justin Verlander, man. You definitely get a nice little payday over there in
Question.
San Fran.
What's the highest Justin Verlander ever finished in MVP voting?
He won an MVP.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
thought I was gonna squeak that by you. What year
Yeah.
was it?
2014, I think it was the same year Kershaw won his,
No,
no?
no, 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 no.
2013?
No.
2012? No,
Nope.
that was like Miggy days. Was it early like 2011?
Yeah, it was 2011.
Yeah. But yeah, Justin Verlander, shout out him. The second latest pitcher to ever win an MVP.
MVP, which
Yeah.
should never happen in my opinion, but
I
whatever.
completely disagree, but Ryan's Ryan.
Oh, they literally have an award for starting pitchers. Why?
I
Why would they get the MVP nod too?
suppose, bro. But whatever. So I don't necessarily know how to grade him. I I mean, I don't really pay attention to the Justin Verlander signing that much. I think he's going to bring some knowledge in that ball club and definitely in that clubhouse, but we'll see what happens over there. Willie Adames, I don't know how his bat's going to play in San Fran. It's definitely still a hitter friendly ballpark, and Willie Adames is gap to gap. I think his power numbers are going to drop. I don't think he's going to be that 30 home run guy anymore. I think he's closer in that 22 to 25 range. And no fault to him. It's just it's hard to hit home runs over there in San Francisco, especially as a righty. But I think he's still going to play gap to gap. I think still going to be a great defender over there at shortstop, especially next to Matthew James Chapman. So we'll go ahead and see what Willie Adames brings. 7 year, $182 million is definitely not cheap whatsoever. But given those two signings, I mean, I think I'm maybe in about the C plus range, I suppose.
I would go B minus. I think they had this is the domino. It's the first season under Buster Posey, and you got to get one domino to fall to start getting the rest to fall. And I think bringing in Willie Adames is going to start, maybe attracting more guys there, trying to bring star power to San Francisco. We've seen them try to spend the last few years. They're kind of the Toronto Blue Jays before the Toronto Blue Jays were the
And
Toronto
no
Blue
one wants
Jays
to
this
sign in San
past
Francisco.
offseason. Obviously the Arson Judge tweet still haunts them to this day. But
Hmm.
yeah, I think this is the start of possibly something, and I'm excited to see where San Francisco ends up this season.
Yeah. Well, all right, you got a C plus for me, and then a B minus from my co-host Ryan. We'll go ahead and take a break, and then we'll finish off the last team in the National League West with the Colorado Rockies. All right, so after the short break, we'll go ahead and talk about the Rockies who finished 61 and 101. I mean, Colorado Rockies things, but and they stayed pretty stagnant. I mean, pretty busy over here in the off season, just trying to find Major League Baseball talent, just running that lineup every day. But they signed Thairo Estrada on a 1 year deal worth $4 million. They signed Kyle Farmer on a 1 year deal worth $3.25 million. And then you sign Jacob Stallings on a 1 year deal worth $2.5 million. Then you get Owen Miller from the Brewers for cash, and then you get Jimmy Hergert off waivers from the Cubs. How do you feel about those moves?
I mean, they're not blocking any young guys from playing and taking innings out of these guys, so they're great moves. I mean, that's all I could ask for a team who's in the process of a long rebuild.
I
And it
mean, it's
looks
just
like
what anything you sign. I mean, if you're the Rockies organization, why do you go out there and sign a big free agent to begin with, man? I mean, anything that you do, you're still not going to be competitive, especially in the NL West division. I mean, anything can happen in baseball, but even still, man, I mean, I think they're a passing grade. I mean, I give them a solid C. Um, yeah, I mean, like you said, you're not blocking any of those guys. I mean, Charlie Condon is still right around the corner. So we'll go ahead and see what the Rockies do this year. But yeah, I mean, I think that's the best way to put it. I mean, you make signings to not block any of these young guys from getting innings.
exactly. I mean, and there's more than Charlie Condon coming up that pipeline. I mean, I think they're gonna have Adele Amador is obviously brought up last season. Is gonna get some more ABs and actually play real innings. I think they were rushed up last season, but uh he got some reps, and I think he's gonna be more prepared for this coming up season. Obviously, they got Chase Dollander, who I don't know. I think he has a 70 grade fastball, and he's one of those guys who I think can sort of weave his way through the Colorado conditions and have a good season, have a good career possibly out there in Colorado. And I think he should be on the opening day roster. Um,
Really, Chase Dollander is still in Double A. You think he
yeah, they're
breaks
not
camp
gonna. I mean, you don't call up pitchers in that league to play in AAA because the PCL is a horrible place to send pitchers, especially your top rated pitching prospects. It's real hard to pitch there, and it doesn't give you any data on their stuff.
for sure?
I mean, I guess it would make sense for the Rockies because they're going to be playing in similar conditions
Of course, yeah.
and cores, but there's no reason to push him to AAA. And then obviously they got Zach Veen might make get the call up, a guy who was a top rated prospect at one point has fallen off, but kind of bounced back this past season. I mean, he might get the call up, and there's some other guys too coming up that pipeline. Drew Romo, the catcher. I don't know if uh, he came up this past season, and we'll see if he's going to be their everyday catcher. Um, and then they obviously got some other guys too. Sterling Thompson, I think he's the outfielder and infield. I think he's a utility guy, Sterling Thompson. But yeah, they just got some guys, and and I'm excited to see some of these young guys play in Colorado. That's as long as they don't block these guys from playing, I'm good with their offseason. So it's hard to rate their offseason though. Grade it.
Likewise, brother. Let's highlight a couple of losses. You non-tender Cal Quantrill, who seemed to be pretty
Come
well
on,
pitching over
Cal
there,
Quantrill.
pitching pretty well in Colorado. But I mean, whatever. Maybe you don't want to pay him. I don't know. I don't understand the move. But at the end of the day, I mean, you're the Rockies. You're not going to be competitive anyway. So why question anything? But Brandon Rogers, you non-tender him. It just seems like his leash is gone. He's a free agent still in the market. I mean, I'm sure someone's going to take a flyer on him. I still think Brandon Rogers still has more left to go. But we'll see. And then Charlie Blackman, I'm not sure if he officially announced his retirement yet. I almost think I want to say that he did, but you lose him, then you lose Jake Cave, Dakota Hudson, and Peter Lambert. So nothing really worth mentioning other than Cal Contra and Brendan Rodgers, and I guess you want to throw in Charlie Blackman.
Yeah.
He's
By the way, Charlie Blackman did announce his
Yeah, so
retirement.
he's retired. He's gone. He's not going to be Major League Baseball anymore. So great career by Charlie Blackman. Highlight him. Maybe we'll make a video on highlighting his career in the future. But could swing it, man. Played decent defense in the prime of his career. Fell off pretty hard defensively towards the later part of his career, just like anyone else would. But yeah, man, that's what the Rockies are cooking up with. I mean, I don't want to give them a failing grade, so I'm about in that C minus C range. I mean, you're making
Yeah,
some moves,
yeah, they're not
and
blocking
they're yeah,
important guys to their
and the moves
system.
that they're making is exactly to not block any of those guys in the system and just have them grow within the majors. Especially, I agree with that. Have those young guys grow in the majors because you're not going to be competitive anyway. So why not just have them up there, get used to big league pitching, and hopefully run into a couple of balls, man. Build up their confidence. To highlight the rotation, you got Herman Marquez, Ryan Feltner, Kyle Freeland, Antonio Senzantilla, and Austin Gomer. So decent rotation, I guess. No one could pitch over there in Colorado, so what difference does it make?
Like I said, Chase Dollander should be up on
Yeah.
opening day, in my opinion.
Then you got Brenton Doyle, Platinum Glove winner, if I'm not mistaken. And then Ezekiel Tovar, great year, great year. Ryan McMahon, just a solid player. Chris Bryant, who even knows if he's ever going to play baseball again. Michael Toglia, I mean, kid can swing it. Nolan Jones, abysmal first
Bounce back,
half.
I think,
Yeah,
gonna bounce
abysmal
back.
first half, was definitely banged up. Great second half. If you want to look up those splits, great second half by Nolan Jones. And then you bring in Thairo Estrada to play second. Sam Hilliard. I mean, not much to say about Sam Hilliard. I mean, he's just an everyday player, I suppose. And then Jacob Stallings. And then on your bench, you got Hunter Goodman, Kyle Farmer, Jordan Beck, and Greg Jones.
Ezekiel Tovar got the extension too. Good on the Rockies for extending him.
Yep.
A guy who needs to walk a lot more. He's in the bottom five.
He needs to stop swinging at everything too,
Yeah, he
brother.
swings at everything. I
Yeah.
love Tovar though.
Yeah, me
He's
too.
exciting.
Great defender. Great defender.
So there's the Rockies and there's the NL West. Um, I think we'll be back
Hold on, I want to
soon
highlight
for
Nolan Jones's second half
second
because,
half. Okay.
yeah. Okay. In the first half, he batted 203, 311, 313 for a 623 OPS. Maybe I'm tripping, bro. Maybe it was like the last month of the season because his split was terribly. I must be tripping. I must be confusing him with somebody else.
No,
But
he just was bad all year.
yeah,
I think he's gonna bounce
269,
back.
269 in the second half with a 340 on base percentage, 333 slugging, and a 673 OPS in the second half. That's on me. I definitely thought I saw a report saying that Nolan Jones was actually incredible in the second half, but I guess he wasn't. So I mean, I'll just go back to what Ryan said. Bounce back. I think Nolan Jones is a way better player than what he showed last year, and he was also banged up. So he's 26. He'll be 27 in May. Still a young guy, man. Still has plenty of time to develop. Isn't a free agent until 2029, and he's ARB eligible next year. So maybe he'll want to try to make a case over there in the courtroom to maybe get paid a little bit more money. So yeah, look out for Nolan Jones. I think he's a great player.
All right, that wraps it up. We'll be back with the NL Central next episode and then close it out with the NL East and move on to our top 10 list after that.
We're gonna do top 10 for every player, every position.
Every position, yep.
All right. We'll go ahead and do that. We'll maybe set one episode of top 10 for the infield, another episode for the outfield, and then we'll go with pitchers. and then a whole episode dedicated to
Depends on
relievers.
how long. We'll see.
Yeah.
Because as you can see, if you and I get into a little disagreement, the episode could go along for one.
As long as Jose Ramirez is the third baseman one, bro, I think there should be no problems.
All right. Josh
All right.
Young's gonna be third base and one though.
All right, we'll see.
All
All
right.
right, catch you guys in the next
Like it and
episode.
subscribe, y'all.
Later.